To discuss, Democratic Congressman Khanna of California. He's a deputy whip for the House Progressive Caucus. Thanks so much for joining us, Congressman. I appreciate it. So Speaker Pelosi told CNN this afternoon that the infrastructure bill, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is smaller than what we just talked about, will come up for a vote on Monday. Are you going to vote no if that House Budget Reconciliation Act, the Build Back Better Act, isn't introduced and doesn't pass first?
I will vote no if we don't have an agreement. What we have said is let's have an agreement where Senator Sinema, Senator Manchin, the White House, progressives are on the same page, both on the Build Back Better Act and on the Infrastructure Act. I think we can get to an agreement. No one is saying it has to be passed. Every single detail has to be worked out. Let's just have a framework. The House progressives, we have a proposal. We're waiting on a counteroffer.
An agreement that Sinema, Manchin, and the House Democrats unanimously will support the Build Back Better Act, the $3.5 trillion bill.
Right, but we're willing to negotiate. Look, I'm glad the CNN actually had all of the things that are in the bill: Medicare expansion, dental, vision, healthcare. I mean, we're spending so much time talking about the number. People forget all the good things that are in there. But we're willing to negotiate. We've had people who actually have spoken with the senators. We've had people speaking at the White House. We need a counter number. I mean, that's what we said. Give us a number.
Right, and President Biden said that when you add up all the things that they want in the bill, the moderates, it actually is more than what they have said it would be, 1.5 trillion or whatever. I want to ask you about some of the issues that some of the moderates have in this bill, including universal pre-K. The pushback from Senator Joe Manchin, the Democrat from West Virginia, is that Congress needs to make sure that the people who get these benefits actually need these benefits, that it should be means tested. The people who can't afford it shouldn't be included. What's your response to that?
I went to public school. I don't remember means testing kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Why should we means test preschool? I think it's good if everyone goes to public school.
I mean, I hear you, but like nobody who makes, let's say, more than $300,000 a year, I'm just making up a number, necessarily needs a government benefit of this. They can afford pre-K.
I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. I think in a digital economy, we need people having early childhood education and beyond K through 12 education. We should think of it like we do public school. You know, the high school movement. Before that, we didn't have universal high school. Now we have universal high school. And the savings is so small for the amount that if you means test it, and the actual bureaucratic issue is actually more.
Another issue, Senator Manchin and other moderates say some of the things that are not needed at this moment, for example, like the child tax credit, because it's already funded through the end of the year. So why spend more on it right now?
Because we've helped reduce child poverty. Some people say 50%. Let's see. But everyone agrees it's gone down. So what should we do? Now next year have it go up? I mean, that would be terrible, that we're actually giving a benefit and now we're going to take it away from people when it's worked.
Well, that's the issue with giving benefits, right? Once you give them, it's tough to take them away.
Well, I have no problem if we're giving benefits, we're reducing child poverty, and people say it's tough to take it away. Yeah, good. We're finally tackling child poverty.
Is the House Progressive Caucus willing in any way to go below $3.5 trillion? I know you don't like to focus on the total amount, but that's what a lot of the moderates are talking about. They're talking about the total amount. Wow, that's so much money. Are you willing at all to go?
We're willing to negotiate, and there's no red line on the $3.5 trillion. But just to put that number in context, 10 years, $300 trillion is what's the U.S. economy. It's 1% of the U.S. economy, and it's half of defense, $7.5 trillion. But yes, we're willing to negotiate. But here's what we want to know. What do you want to cut? Do you want to cut the preschool education? Do you want to cut the community college? Do you want to make sure seniors don't get hearing aids?
Manchin wants to cut some of the climate change, combating climate change provisions.
Well, why? Here's what I would say to Senator Manchin. I have a good relationship with him. I have no problem if we give more money to West Virginia. Let's put the clean tech jobs there. Don't even have them all in California. I'm sure we can work this out. And to Senator Manchin's credit, he has had overtures to progressives. People are talking. I think we're going to get this done. And everyone wants the president to have a win.
Can you understand why some voters who voted Democratic in 2020 look at this and think, boy, can Democrats govern? Like, seems really messy.
I could understand that if we aren't able to come to consensus. I think people understand it's a difficult process. And if over the next couple of weeks we come to consensus, people will be fine with it.
So you don't think necessarily by Monday this will be solved? You think it's going to take a few more weeks, maybe?
I think it's going to take a couple more weeks. My sense of what will move it forward is for Senator Sinema, Manchin, and others to come give us a number and to have a negotiation.
How many progressives do you think will vote against the infrastructure bill if it comes up on Monday without an agreement to pass the $3.5 trillion Build Back Better Act. That's kind of tough to say, by the way. That's bad branding.
But don't say reconciliation.
Wow, I hate that more. But how many do you think will vote against it? You said you will.
I will. I think there'll be around 40 to 50, but I don't think the Speaker will put it on the floor. Maybe she does, 40 to 50 vote against it. But you know, Jake, things fail. They come up a week later. They pass. This is part of the process. The important thing is that both of these bills will pass at the end of the day.
All right. Democratic Congressman Khanna of California, thanks so much for being with us. Good to see you as always.